One bag costs 6,150 from the boutique, the other 300 made by me.
Have you guys seen that TikTok video that the Chinese guy posted about exposing how luxury goods are made? Basically, most of the luxury brands we use every day are made in China, then shipped to Europe and sold to consumers at a premium. A wedding ring that we can buy for $2, they turn it into $2,000. China is the world's largest processing plant. You buy Gucci, 80% is made in China, Prada 60% is made in China. Even Chanel, Fendi, Louis Vuitton, Adidas, Nike, etc. The only difference here is that China sends them to Europe and they put some little label on them that says made in France, made in Italy. It's ridiculous. While people are still criticizing Xianem for being cheap and of poor quality, those expensive and good products that you think are made in France and Italy are actually from China. So what do you have to worry about? Come on, your MAGA hats are made in China. And now President Trump has imposed an additional 144% tariff on China. Vice President J.D. Vance called the Chinese peasants. They're out of line. If you don't let me do my business, we can't do ours.
Did you guys see that video of that man saying that all luxury brands are made in China and they just get sent over to Italy to be put on a little tag that says made in Italy, and now they're considered these expensive bags? So are you telling me all the bags that I bought off DHgate, all the accessories are the same price as luxury items and I paid, what, $30 a bag? I'm going to keep buying off DHgate.
Oh my God. Chanel handbags. Chanel handbags. Cosmetics. Skims. Y'all are done.
America really didn't want us to see what they was doing over in China. And if you don't know, click the search bar and see how China just froze America, that designer that you've been spending your money on, $200,000, $300, $400, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, all of your hard-earned money basically been going to knockoffs, if that's what y'all want to call them, Canal Street specials, if I might say. China is basically saying that your favorite designer gets their bags, their clothes, their shoes made in China, not Italy. So when you thinking you get enough finest threads, you get them from China. And now China is saying that they got them for the low, like they've been had them, but they're just not keeping a secret no more. So what they're saying is that designer that we've been wearing, they've been making, and they make it for cheaper, and we might as well not buy that designer that we've been buying. It's kind of strange to me because a lot of people have been losing their lives to get designer. It's a lot of people that lost their lives over design. And you're telling me that China's been making it. All I could say is this trade war is exposing the rail from the fake and fake from the rail. If that makes sense, I'm out.
So now we know why America really didn't want us to see what they was doing over in China. And if you don't know, click the search bar and see how China just exposed America. That designer that you've been spending your money on, $200, $300, $400, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, all of your hard-earned money basically been going to knockoffs. If that's what y'all want to call them, Canal Street specials, if I might say. China is basically saying that your favorite designer gets their bags, their clothes, their shoes made in China, not Italy. So when you thinking you getting the finest of threads, you getting them from China. And now China is saying that they got them for the low, like they been had them, but they just not keeping it secret no more. So what they're saying is that designer that we've been wearing, they've been making, and they make it for cheaper, and we might as well not buy that designer that we've been buying. It's kind of strange to me because a lot of people been losing their lives to get designer. It's a lot of people that lost their lives over designer. And you're telling me that China's been making it? All I can say is this trade war is exposing the real from the fake and the fake from the real, if that makes sense.
I really don't understand why y'all so surprised that the Chinese is exposing everything that the U.S. economy is doing. How the hell you go over to another country and want to charge them because they're manufacturing your shit, but then you come over here and want to double charge your own people? No, China ain't going for that, and I'm glad they're exposing the U.S. because that just shows how encrypted the goddamn government is. How the fuck you gonna try to charge somebody that's been helping us maintain or helping you get away with shit? Like, come on, man. So of course these Chinese people go get mad. Of course these people gonna say, okay, you wanna fuck with me? Boom, bitch. Yeah. Half of your Louis Vuitton, half of your Gucci, half of everything y'all motherfucking own in the U.S. is made by us at a fraction of the damn cost that you charging your own fucking people. Now, play with me if you want to, U.S.
Why did it take the Chinese people to just tell y'all that these bags wasn't worth that? Did y'all really think at any point that this bag behind me was worth $100,000? I mean, let's just really be real. This is a piece of leather. I don't care if it's made from crocodile, whatever. What makes it be worth $100,000 and y'all paying for it? Some of y'all don't even own your own homes, but got these kind of bags. I mean, let's just really be real. I mean, come on now. A piece of damn leather, a bag, and y'all paying $100,000 for it willingly. It's like y'all might as well just get robbed. Now y'all up in arms because them bags ain't worth shit today. They stopped and dropped. I done checked it. They down. Y'all been getting got for years, man. And y'all know who I'm talking to. Y'all gotta stop buying this goofy ass shit, man. Y'all could really be doing some real changes in your community. And for y'all NBA players and football players and whoever else is buying these damn bags, knock it off, guy. Man, buy that woman something that she can really hold on to. You know what I mean? Seriously. Rebuild your community. But out here buying these fake ass bags that ain't worth nothing. It ain't never no day of the week that bag was ever worth $100,000. I don't care if they only made one of them. It ain't never gonna be worth $100,000. I mean, seriously, guys, a piece of leather with something printed on it and made in Italy, and y'all going for that? Y'all done started being like them other folks. Y'all really have. Y'all were never taught don't follow trends. Don't be a follower. You know what I mean? All the kind of stuff like that. Be your own person. It doesn't take for you to have something that says it's worth $100,000 for you to be somebody. You know, that's a status y'all are looking for somebody to make you try to make other people convince them that you got something. I mean, seriously, people that really got it, they ain't buying that kind of shit. It's no value in that. But anyway, guys, I mean, I'm being serious. I joke around a lot, man, but it's disappointing, man.
This Birkin bag at Hermes boutique will cost you 38,000 USD. But what is the real cost out of the factory? Today, I'm going to break it down in front of you, step by step. First thing first, Hermes only use the leathers from the 3 top-level suppliers. One is called Nuti from Italy. And the second is Weinheim from Germany. And the third is Haas from France. One piece of Togo leather, the same leather as this one, will cost 450 USD.
The bags come from China, but the leather comes from Nigeria. The bags are manufactured in China, but the leather, the exotic skins, the snake skin, the alligator, it comes from Kano, Nigeria. Come on in, let's talk about it, yes.
Do you know that most of the leather used around the world actually comes from Africa? Yeah, your luxurious Italian leather handbag may have more Nigeria in it than Italy. In fact, African leather is highly sought after by fashion houses both within and outside of Africa, particularly in this African country right here. Made in Italy? Try made in Nigeria.
The leather comes from Nigeria. The bags are manufactured in China, but the leather, the exotic skins, the snake skin, the alligator, it comes from Kano, Nigeria. Come on in, let's talk about it, yes. Because I love that the Chinese manufacturers are coming on here and asserting that they are producing these luxury bags and luxury goods, but also Black people have a hand in that manufacturing by way of tanneries in Kano, Nigeria. So a tannery is an institution, a business in which you are converting animal products like skins, leather, suede, alligator skins, snake skins, all kinds of exotic skins into textiles so that they can be used for goods, clothing, bags. And Kano, Nigeria is world headquarters for this practice. And they have long since been headquarters for hundreds of years. So I interviewed during the pandemic a man named Winston, and he leads a business out of Kano, Nigeria called Winston Leathers. And they are actually a 3rd generation tannery. So he confirmed that his tannery produces leather goods and exotic skins for brands like LVMH, so Louis Vuitton's portfolio of brands, Ralph Lauren, many other luxury brands. And I interviewed him on Twitter. I'll link to that thread so you can go back and read it. But yeah, he shared that this practice of providing exotic skins to the world, but specifically to China, goes back to the Silk Road, when traders in Mali were providing leather goods up through Morocco and on into Asia. Moroccan leather is known for its quality, and Winston actually shared that Moroccan leather can be traced back to Kano, Nigeria, and is actually Kano leather. So I love all the conversation that Chinese manufacturers have started around like amplifying that those goods are produced and manufactured in China. I want to go a layer deeper and talk about how Black people are actually contributing to the manufacturing as well, because the leather goods and the exotic skins that make up those bags that they're putting together in China actually started on the continent of Africa, in Nigeria. Okay, let's talk about it. If we're gonna talk about it, let's talk about all of it. And sorry, I'm getting ready. I'm gonna put my brush down to talk about some bags that I love by Black designers. So this beauty is Antelope. This is by a brand called Brother Valet. A Black woman named Aurora James leads that brand. I still wear fur, don't kill me. I read a great New York Times article about how basically fur was phased out when Black women were able to access it in greater numbers. So basically, because Black women could access something that white people felt was exclusive to them, that's when they decided, oh no, vegan leather. And I am not a proponent of, you know, inhumane treatment of animals, but I do love fur, and it is a part of Black womanhood, Black girlhood, rites of passage. We hand down fur coats. So I love a fur. Brother Valet has great bags, and they also benefit women in Africa who construct these bags. I want to talk about Hanifa. I can't get enough of Hanifa. I love Hanifa Muvemba as a person, and she is also a Black designer from the continent of Africa. She is from Congo, and she produces bags. This is a great bag. It comes in a larger size. It also comes in black, I believe, and maybe red. And yes, I love this bag. She sent this bag to me. Thank you so much, sister. Love this down and wear it, okay? And we gotta talk about Loire. So Loire is headed by Raul Lopez. He is a person of color. And he's actually previously one half of Hood by Air. So if you're familiar with Hood by Air, they pioneered streetwear. He was one half of the duo who founded it and led it. So icon, icon, icon already. He circled back, okay, and hit us with another brand called Loire. This is the ostrich texture. This is 100% genuine leather. It's ostrich textured. I also have a smooth version of this bag in brown. And then I also want to shout out another Black handbag designer named Wilglery. She has the brand Anima Iris. I had the pleasure of working with Wilglery when I was at Amazon. So I was brought to Amazon. Many of you know I work in luxury fashion. Hi, I'm Shelby. I'm a costume and fashion historian, a Forbes 30 Under 30 honoree, a Vogue Business 100 Innovator honoree, and a 10+ year veteran of the luxury fashion industry. And during my career journey, Amazon brought me over to stand up their luxury division. And so I onboarded luxury brands with an emphasis on Black luxury brands, okay, and I got to onboard Anima Iris, and Wilglery and her team were amazing. Love her bags down, own more than a couple. They're not within my reach right now, but wanted to shout her out because her bags are still produced on the continent of Africa as well, so support her bags. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about that, girlies, because it has to go without saying. Black people are in the mix with a lot of things, okay? And this is one of them. So just as China is making sure to assert their contribution and their attribution to the luxury handbag industry, I want to make sure that we assert and attribute Black people's contribution, which is specifically in Kano, Nigeria, via these tanneries. So yeah.
You know, my family make leather for a lot of the biggest fashion houses in the world, and it's absolutely true. In 30 years of making the best leather in the world, we have never gotten credit for the work we do. There has never been a brand we supply who ever came out to say, oh, I get my leather from Winston Leather in Nigeria. Hell, the concept of acknowledging that the raw material is African raw material is so foreign that even after legal action was taken and they got stopped from using the word Italian leather, they much rather call it genuine leather than Nigerian leather. And that just goes to show you how hell-bent these people are on not giving us our flowers. And that's the realization we made one day. And we decided to start our own company because you know what? We as Africans need to create more African brands and we need to tell more African stories. We export cocoa, we import chocolates, we export crude oil, we import petroleum, we export leather, and we import shoes and bags. And so when someone else is making the final product with your raw material, then they get to put whatever credit they want on the label. So if we had more African brands, then we get to control the narrative, and that's the inspiration behind Winston Leather. So every time you wear one of our shoes or every time you carry one of our bags, you're not just carrying a beautiful piece, you're carrying the flowers of Africa, you're carrying the story of Africa, and you should take pride in that.
Company, it's called Winston Leather. If you like, they just made it to New York Fashion Week. So these guys made it to Fashion Week. So if you're into fashion, you've seen you've seen their backpacks. It's cheaper than the Gucci, the Prada, but it's literally the same thing. The difference is it just doesn't have the stamp. As you can see here, as soon as he made that post yesterday, I shout out to a lot of black men. They came through for him. They stormed his website, started making purchases. He sold out. Yes, the sisters came through too. You can see he's selling out. I just saw the post, so I'm like, oh shit. He's saying like, they're gonna sell out really, really bad. So I thought, well, if everyone's gonna buy in their stuff and they're gonna sell out, if it started on TikTok, there might be people on TikTok who actually want his items. So I thought I'd make a video and put it on here.
A lot of people don't know, Nigerian leather is some of the most valuable leather in the world. So for more than 500 years, Western traders have come to Timbuktu, Mali, and to Morocco to buy what today is known as Kano red leather. When we started exporting leather, or when we started producing leather locally, we found out that there was a huge market for exports, and then tapped into the export market. 30 years later, we're one of the biggest exporters in the country. So this was some of the inspiration behind Winston Leather, because we know that our leather is good enough to make bags and shoes for the biggest fashion houses in the world. So why can't we make it here in Africa? So we're doing made in Africa that can compete on a global level. So when you see a bag made in Nigeria now, and you see a bag that you were buying from any other country where you go shopping, it's the same. But because we don't have the middleman cost, we don't have the transport cost of taking it abroad and the transport cost of bringing it back, it's cheaper to buy in Africa for the same quality. And it's been amazing. 3 years later, we export to 14 countries. We're going for trade fairs around the world. We're going for exhibitions around the world. And the world is accepting, we have great reception. So obviously we're on the right path, and we hope to build on this and continue to scale what we have. So one of the ways we measure our success is how many jobs did we create? How many mouths do we feed now? How many people are we inspiring? How many people look up to us and feel, if he can do it, I can do it. If a Nigerian guy can do it, I can do it. If a young guy can do it, I can do it. That is a measure of success for us that is beyond just, growth or monetary or, everything else. And so the training that we invest in our staff is one of the most important factors of our success. We actually have some of our staff who are trained abroad and come back to Niger and train other Africans here in Africa. One of the ways by which we pass on the Winston DNA to our staff is by getting them to understand that, look, we're not just trying to make bags. We're trying to make the best bags in the world. We're trying to compete with the biggest fashion brands in the world. So every stitch is important that it's uniform. The last stitch looks like the last one. We're not just stitching to be done with making the bag. We're trying to create a beautifully crafted product. There's a number of ways which, the relationship with Flutterwave has been beneficial to us. Before we started working with Flutterwave, we had the issue of receiving payments in multiple currencies. So now that we're working with Flutterwave, I feel like that problem is mitigated a lot because we're able to receive payments in multiple currencies seamlessly, effortlessly, at the speed of a click.
Do you know know that most of the leather used around the world actually comes from Africa? Yeah, your luxurious Italian leather handbag may have more Nigeria in it than Italy. In fact, African leather is highly sought after by fashion houses both within and outside of Africa, particularly in this African country right here. Made in Italy? Try made in Nigeria. Let's talk about it. Although today 71% of leather produced in Nigeria is exported to Italy and Spain, the African origins of leather, particularly within the luxury industry, have long flown under the radar. For example, this tannery right here, based in Kano, Nigeria, supplies leather to fashion houses like Louis Vuitton and Ralph Lauren, to name a few. This family-run business, Winston Leather, has effectively been supplying some of the biggest names in fashion for over 30 years. You see, in Nigeria, leather making has a long and storied history. For over 500 years, traders have bought leather from this West African country. It's been a center of leather production for years. Within northern Nigeria, one particular city stands out: Kano. Traditional tanneries in Kano are Nigeria's oldest and biggest leather suppliers. They are, and always have been, the starting point in many leather-producing chains. See, among the Hausa Fulani people of northern Nigeria, leather served a functionality. It was essential to the production of clothing, footwear, bags, and saddles for transportation and trade. Hides and skins from free-roaming cows, goats, or sheep were taken, and skilled artisans, who often belonged to specialized guilds, would transform them into leather through a process called leather tanning. And before you come screaming about animal cruelty, at the time and still in many African communities, all parts of the animal were used. As a source of food, architecture, clothing, nothing was thrown away. The skill and knowledge of these artisans was passed down through generations, perfected over centuries, and today, many of those traditional techniques are still in use. But while leather has traditionally been used to make practical products, it's also deeply intertwined with Nigerian cultural identity and constitutes a visible form of cultural expression. For example, in Igbo culture, leather is used to make Igbo akupe, a traditional leather hand fan, and in Yoruba culture, leather work is used in some ritual objects like the lapa. It's always had many uses and has always been highly sought after, which is probably why on the global stage, Nigerian leather has evolved to a symbol of luxury and high fashion. Now, that's not to say that the industry doesn't face issues. There are problems related to infrastructure, financing, and competition from imported goods. Made in Africa still doesn't have the same ring to it as made in Europe. But African designers are working to change that. Brands such as these are switching the narratives, and initiatives like the Lagos Leather Fair have brought smaller designers to the forefront and really showcased Nigeria's beautiful leather craftsmanship. There's really no need to look far. Beauty has always been found within the continent. We just need to foster it.
I'm here with what might be the best luggage that you can buy in the entire world, regardless of price point, and it's made in Africa. This is Joka Joke, which is a luxury leather manufacturer based out of Kenya. Now, I am mean for these bags. I've had these for well over a year. I've taken them to job sites in Asia, in Africa, in America, and we beat the heck out of these, but they never go bad. They look just as good now as when we bought them originally. And what makes this leather so unique and why you can only get this quality from Africa is that these are Ethiopian cattle that are called the Zembu cattle. They're really weird looking, but you can only get them from Africa. They're super soft, super durable, and I think that this is the best luggage that you can get regardless of price points. And also in person, this stuff looks really good. When I'm in business lounges, I get asked all the time about what this brand is and how people can get it. So if you want to support African manufacturing and you want the best bag and luggage that you can get in the world, I'm warning you, this stuff is not cheap, but it is absolutely worth it. You go to jokajoke.com. I am not paid. I don't get any of these bags for free. I pay full price. And I think even though they're very expensive, they're completely worth it. So support African manufacturing and have the best bag in the world.
Leather. The leather industry across Africa, Ethiopia, Kenya, Tanzania, and a lot of other places like Uganda have been exporting wet blue, which means we process all the gunk, we send the wet blue, and the same leather, when it comes back to Africa as a bag, it comes back as knockoffs because we can't afford the real deal. That is why here at Joka Joke, we work with Kenyan leather, with African leather, to make sure that those jobs stay here on the continent and that knockoffs become a thing of the past. No more plastic items. I have a friend called Alan who used to be my classmate in school. one of the best sculptors. He works with wrought iron. He has inspired his sons to do so. He's also an actor. But are we going to frustrate these young people to a point where they no longer want to follow in our footsteps and do the things, the creative things that we did, and they want to move abroad because Africa is too frustrating for the African to stay and the creative to stay? People like Pamoja Decor, young people who've come together to make beautiful lampshades, they are making sure that young people go to their workshop, get trained, and understand how these two hands can feed you.
Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm your host Beryl. Thank you so much for the new subscribers. Please, if you're watching this video and you have not subscribed, please go back, subscribe to that channel. Thank you, much love. Okay, so you have watched the TikTok compilation videos I have just shared with you. What's your take? Please put it down on the comment section. I want to hear what you think about this. There's two things I want to talk about. How China is actually revealing how USA is actually overpricing these products, and at the same time I want to expose also how Africa is being undermined in all of this, yet we are the sole producers of these products again. It's like a vicious cycle, goes back. At the end of the day, we are the ones who are least benefiting again, even if the discovery is there. So it's a major expose or investigation related to the luxury brands in China, possibly about the counterfeit goods, labor conditions, or the market dominance. The reactions from Americans, viewers, commentators, not only Americans, I'm also shocked, maybe around how these brands operate or how this ties into international trade. So the people are just shocked, like, you are doing this to us in this government, in this economy in 2025. You're supposed to be making America great again. What are these expose that we are seeing on social media? What's happening? Somebody should be answerable, right? A connection to the escalating trade war with Trump, likely referring to tariffs, bans, or diplomatic tensions between the USA and China. So Trump has actually increased the tariffs that in China. So like, I think it's 125 or 175% of it, which is affecting so many Americans because the products are going to be increasing in price. And when you think about the quality and the increase in price, it doesn't make sense. Now China gets to reveal the real truth behind all of this. Yeah, so China is a dominant force in the global leather industry with a market value of approximately 80 billion as of 2023. Okay, that is 2 years ago. Get this. The country is the world's largest processor of leather hides, producing a wide range of products, footwear, apparels, bags, name it. So China actually exports like over 50 billion from 2023, and that's the survey that I've actually researched on. So it's a big producing country. It's like 90% of, I don't know, the world or something. However, concerns have been raised about the transparency of supply chains and the ethical sourcing of materials. Some Chinese brands such as Louis Vuitton, or let me say CHCJOV, Shikovich. I don't know how to pronounce that, man. I'm an African. Come on, let me spell it out for you. CHICJOV. Shijok have marketed products claiming to use animal fur from the same suppliers as luxury brands like Louis Vuitton and Fendi. This has led to debates about the authenticity and the ethical implications of such claims. So that's the one thing I want to talk about right now. Let's break it down for you. So China has been producing all these luxurious brands that you know of: Fendi, Louis Vuitton, name them, Chanel, those beautiful classy bags that you see all those celebrities carrying around, all those beautiful rich people walking around. People have even died trying to get these Birkin bags, name it. Because personally, imagine someone gifting me a Birkin bag. Stop. Yeah, it's a great it's great because it's not every day you get gifted such an expensive bag. So most people show love by gifting people such expensive things. Little did they know that these expensive things are from China, only to be branded in the US. What do I say? What am I saying? What am I saying? I'm saying that China is the sole producer of these bags. That Fendi, that Birkin, that Chanel, Louis Vuitton bag, that you have right there, has been produced in China, and then they don't like make it as a brand like made in China. They just produce it, then sell it back to the States and other countries, Italy, name it, and then when they reach, let's say, Chanel factory or something, they go ahead and then they now label it as theirs. You get? They now rebrand it, and then they hike the price for you. So please, if you know you've been just making me feel bad for not owning a Chanel bag, I might just be owning one the same price, or I might just right now, since the prices have reduced and been revealed, I'll get one. Hopefully, if we get to 500 subs, I'm getting a beautiful bag. If you help me. So that's what's going on in China. So like, because Trump has actually made it worse for China to do business in the US, why would China be quiet? They're saying, shit, we're not allowing this to go on. So they just decided to tell the truth. You know what, guys? That bag that your celebrity has been showing off everywhere, carrying it around. Guess what? I made it, and you know the poor conditions of those who are making it. So like, it's something that is very concerning. So that's the first thing that is happening. That's the first thing that is happening. And how can we say that it's impacting the Kenya as a Kenyan? How is it impacting us? Kenyan manufacturers have expressed concerns over the influx of cheap leather products from China, which they claim is hurting small and medium enterprises in the country. The Kenya Footwear Manufacturers Association has highlighted issues such as unfair competitions from counterfeit products, avoidance tax and dumping. They have called government protection and the establishment of standard to safeguard the local market. Additionally, the Kenyan leather industry has faced challenges due to China's reduced imports of semi-finished leather. You see, citing quality issues, the shift has led to Chinese producers to source materials from other countries, impacting the demand of Kenyan leather and threatening the survival of local tanneries. Okay, so this is what is happening. This is what is happening. The local industry in Kenya is being affected to the point. Do you know that the Chinese were now the main source of the drama and all producing to the US, but where do you think they're getting the raw materials from? From Africa. Yeah, I told you guys, Africa is a zoo. Africa is the best of the best. We have authentic products, unique products. So please come do business with us. Make Africa great again. So now it's affecting Kenyan brands, and not only Kenya, Nigeria. You've heard that Nigeria is also a sole producer of quality leather for those companies. So add 1 + 1 is 2, so you can add that up and see that China is also being clever to the point, taking cheap labor and raw materials from us to make those bags, hike the prices in the US. It's like a cycle. You get what I was saying? Yeah, so the local producers in Kenya are getting affected, not only in Kenya though, because imagine if China is making such amount of products, they obviously have to reduce the price because they're sure of profits. Now they send it back to us. They flood our market to their products. Obviously, you can't go ahead and buy the quality product, which is, for example, in Kenya, a joke bag. It's a company that produces fine leather bags. It's very expensive, by the way. As a local Kenyan, it's quite expensive, but the quality is good. It's giving. One day I'm gonna get that joke bag and I'll tell you about it. But when Chinese products are here, they are very affordable. I even have bags from China. Let me just show you. They're very affordable, actually, guys. They're very affordable. So that's the challenge that people are facing. So here's the deal. China is the kingpin of the global market, selling billions worth of bags, shoes, jackets, you name it. But now there's growing outrage over somehow of these big brands. Yes, the ones charging thousands of dollars. You know them. Okay, might be lying or at least hiding who their real leather suppliers are. And guess what? A lot of these luxury looking items are actually coming from same places as much cheaper. They're now being dupes, sold online and in Chinese stores. Brands like the Chinese brands even claim they share fur and leather supplies from giants with giants like Louis Vuitton and Fendi. Now, let's bring this home. This affects us too in Kenya. Local vendors, like I've just said, are being crushed by a flood of cheap Chinese imports. We are talking about the unfair competition, tax, avoidance, and counterfeits. So, what I can say, China has started importing less leather from Kenya, saying our quality doesn't meet their standard. That means that our tanneries are now closing and jobs are vanishing. So, the real question is, are we paying a luxury price for a product that's just a well marketed knockoff? Are we? Are we paying the price? And how can African countries protect their industries in a global market that's stacked against them? How can we protect our industries? Let me know what you think in the comment section. It's time for us to start demanding transparency from these brands, or even better, support and grow our own local brands. Yes, we all know our own local brands, and please, it's high time we start supporting each other. You see how they're using us? They're taking the products and then they go make the flooding the items in Africa again. They go sell it higher in the US, claiming it's not even associated to us. You see, they've avoided contact of mentioning Africa. But we are the guys, support your own. Please, we have so many beautiful, beautiful leather brands in these African nations because, guys, we have the products locally available. So please invest with us. Thank you so much. Please comment down below what you think about this video. I had to make it because I just couldn't allow this topic to go unmentioned. Okay, guys, have a nice time. We are at 2:13. I want just before we celebrate our 1-year anniversary in August, let's try and get at least 500 subs. Come on, we can do this. Cheers.